You gotta let your mind expand. We'll bring it back to you again. Tears falling from the sky. Let it on my second time. I know the weather, John. You gotta let your mind expand. You know it's just a joke. We'll bring it back to you, you know. Okay. You caught it on your second time.
Welcome to Synchronicity. We got a solo cast coming at you today. Fear, pain, and your shadow. This is important stuff. Alexis was like, what do your tweets mean? What do you mean you love the devil? Why are you talking about this stuff? This is literally what we spoke about last night. And I was like, I'll explain it in a podcast because that's how we communicate now. She was a little tipsy from some wine. So it wasn't the best time to go over shadow work. Or maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, and she's like, don't talk about certain things in episodes. Now I don't even remember what those things were. So hopefully it wasn't that. Sorry, Alexis. This is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about fear. We're going to be talking about pain. We're going to be talking about shadow aspects of yourself and how to deal with those, how to integrate those, what are those, how to identify them, all that fun stuff. Sturf? Okay, we'll go with Sturf. But first, here's what we're really going to talk about. First is WITMA, Wellbeing in the Modern Age in New York City, October 18th, 2019 at Contra Studios. That's at 122 West 26th Street. Zip code is 10001. That's a palindrome. 10001 in binary is 17. 1 plus 7, numerology is 8. 8 life path, infinity, good stuff. There's going to be people like Damien Eccles, Mitch Horowitz, Melinda Lee Holm. I'm not even going to name all these people. Oh, Dr. Miles Neal, Con Francescetto, Sean and Cass. They're going to be moderating a panel. So is Michael Phillip from Third Eye Drop. So is Jennifer Sodini. There's going to be other stuff. I'm going to be there talking about imagination and doing stuff like that. That's pretty fun. So if you want to come to this, go to witmalive.com. That's WITMA live.com and get tickets. It's that simple. It's from 3:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, October 18th. It's pretty awesome. I co-founded WITMA with Anna, Sa, and Kara. 4 years, 3 years, I don't know, 2 years, who knows? I don't know. That's time. What is it? Who knows? But subsequently, it's now Anna and Jen running the show, and it's fucking great. And I was blown away. They were telling me, the panelists, the other day, we recorded this episode and it didn't really record. And I was like, oh shit. We kind of saw it happen, but then we got like 15 minutes of it back. So we're going to re-record something. Just a good time will be had there. I'm really looking forward to attending and talking and speaking and doing all those things. So go check it out. witmalive.com, October 18th, New York City. That's in Chelsea, right? West 26? West Village, Chelsea? Yeah, I think that's Chelsea. It's a fun place. It's a cool area. Lots of good stuff. There's a stone store that's ridiculously overpriced. Stick and Bone or Sticks and Stones. And they have some cool shit in there, and I get stuff sometimes. So yes, go check that out. Next order of business, astrology and tarot. There is, I'm backlogged crazy on these astrology things. For people who have been coming in, I'm charging $13 now after this point. That doesn't mean if you signed up and I said you have a free one, I'm going to charge you money. I'm just letting people know when you come in now, you're going to hear that from me. $13. You know, I record something with your chart. It's like 15, 20 minutes and I email it to you. It takes like half an hour or more to do these things. So I'm trying to gate my time appropriately moving forward. I will be scaling up for people who are signing up for tarot. I will also be incorporating astrology. So I will change the intake form so I can grab your birthday so I can have your chart ready for you. It's just helpful. That's the reason I'm doing it. It's like, that's why I'm learning astrology. It's just another thing that can give you an energetic map of what's going on. So if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, Instagram, you can hit me up for stuff for astrology right now. I don't have any booking sessions, but tarot, if you go to syncpodcast.com/readings, you can sign up for a reading with me. It's a fun time. We can do it on Zoom. I can record something and send it to you. It's whatever you want. You'll see the options. So that's what's going on. Also, the email list. I know a lot of you are finding it and you're getting those Neville Goddard goodies and the other stuff. Sign up for it. I'm going to start using it more actively. I think probably starting in October. I am. And for people who've been reaching out about the assistant job, I'm going to be reviewing applicants in October and then selecting someone pretty quickly. It's not going to be a high paying gig initially, but it could turn into something pretty cool. I'm pretty confident on that. I just need some extra hands, eyes, ears, noses, all of those things to help out with some of the shit we have going on. Also, my friend Kyle from the CryptoSync server put together an amazing binaural beats music thing that guides you to sleep. It's 33 minutes long, that takes the Imaginal Techniques episode I did, the number one, and makes it, he made it really cool. So I'm going to be putting that up. I will have a link to it in this episode. It'll just be a Dropbox link for now. I just want to say this in this episode, and there'll be a more cohesive way of conveying this as people download it in the future. But I'm splitting this is donation offering, so it's free. Money shouldn't be a barrier for what Kyle made. But Kyle should also be compensated for what he did out of his own volition and kindness. And you'll see when you hear it. So any donations that are made, if you make it through the Synchronicity site, you can just specify that it's for this, I think he called it the Imagine Sync meditation, and just specify that in the donation so I can we're doing 50-50 split. So I'm going to give Kyle 50%. And that goes for anyone. Just to be clear, if you make something cool and it's valuable for people related to anything I've done, I will put it out through the show, through the site, through whatever, and we'll just split it 50-50. So that's a money channel if you're into it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Got lots of stuff going on. We're going to be talking about, let's get to fear. Let's get to pain. Let's get to the shadow. Let me organize my thoughts. This was a big one. I started just kind of rambling about it the other day and realized, you know what? I should take a step back and kind of organize my thoughts on this, because there's a lot. We're dealing with three very big, let's group fear and pain kind of together, but three very big topics: fear, pain, and your shadow. So where should we start? We've spoken about fear a little bit, a lot of it, with the threshold guardians and kind of how it can be something that prevents you from seeing true reality and how you're supposed to lean into it. We'll get to that. Let's talk about pain. Pain is something I've been dealing with a little bit, or dealt with, I guess, over these past few weeks. So I've been jogging every morning, and it was amazing, and it still is amazing, and I love it. But after, I don't know, 3 months of consistent jogging every morning, like a lot, I started getting a little knee pain, and I attributed it to using a kettlebell and kind of wasn't, I don't know, maybe some tendonitis, but usually I would Google it, and whatever I Googled, that's probably what it was, and it would take that long to heal. But this time I was like, you know what? I've done this with colds before. I've realized I was getting sick, and I said no, and then I didn't get sick, and it fucking blew my mind. And that happened enough that I'm like, okay, I believe that. But I was like, I wonder if I could do this for like knee pain. And it's interesting, Alexis at the same time had foot pain come out of nowhere. And we both are kind of well-versed in this unconscious pain that can arise from Dr. Sarno's work, the clinician who studied people with back and neck pain. And, that it really is unconscious things doing this. So I was like, all right, what is going on here with my knee? Why is this happening? What is this trying to tell me? So I remembered I bought a book that I did not like at all called Heal Your Body by Louise Hay from Hay House Media. It's one of her first books, I believe. And it's just a small little book, and it talks about like what pain is and what it's trying to show you, and some like affirmation and mantra you can say. So I was like, all right, let me open this up. Looked into it and saw that there was a section for like every single type of thing that someone could have, like any ailment, right? Ranging from cancer to like, I cut my foot, I cut my finger. So I looked up knee pain and was like, this is usually indicative of not flowing with the changes in life. And I was like, that kind of makes like rigidity. That makes sense. And there was this affirmation that was basically like, I am safe. I am guided by divine love. It sounds so hokey, but I was like, all right, let me give this a shot. So I started doing that, but I also started weaving it into this whole imaginal reality truth. And I was like, okay, I've seen now at this point so many crazy things, so many just like, not even crazy, just like miraculous, amazing things happen in the past 5 months, but also my whole life, that for me to doubt that this is an operative principle isn't even a thing anymore. So why couldn't it be applied to physical pain? Now, I'm saying if like your arm gets lopped off, it's going to grow back. there are limits to what we can believe, but if we can really believe it's mind over matter, well, let me start applying this to my knee. So a few things happened to me that also got my logical mind on board with this idea. One is I was jogging the other day, and there's this dog that there's an electric fence, but there's like this dog, and he just fucking hates me. And I keep thinking like, you know what, let me replace the version of him that hates me with a good version. But this dog, there's something about my pheromones. He sees me coming, and he's like, goes right up to the invisible fence and is just like snarling. And usually no worries. I just like, smile. I'm like, good times. But this time I looked back after I passed him. And as I looked back, I tripped and I fell. And it was a very stupid, silly fall. And I had just gotten a new phone. And what do you think I did? The first fucking thing I did is look to see if I broke my phone. I didn't care about any injuries I had. I fucked my ankle up a little bit, scraped it up, not terribly, but not great. And was like, oh shit. And I was like, I hope no one saw that. There was a car drive by. I don't think he saw it, but if he did, it was a good, funny sight for him. So, but what happened was I was really close to my house, like, I don't know, half a mile, quarter mile. And my ankle was like, it hurt because I fell on it, but my knee didn't hurt. And it was weird because like when I was jogging, my knee also wouldn't hurt. But then there were these weird situations where it would hurt later. So I was like, I don't know. But it showed me that like it can't just be a physical thing, because normally when I was like walking like that back from walk, it might hurt a little bit, and it didn't. So I was like, that's interesting. So anyway, flash forward to today. It's been about like 4 or 5 days since I initially noticed the knee pain, and it's not there anymore. It's just totally gone. So I was like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, oh shit, the pain was there, this time at least, to show me that you can actually overcome and transcend pain. And I was like, that's really fucking amazing. So that is what pain is there for. We think of it as this thing that's being done to us, or we can't escape, or it just sucks, or whatever. And we think about a lot of things that we qualify as negative states, right? Like discomfort, unease, I don't know, doubt, depression, anxiety. We think of them these horrible, looming, terrible things, but in reality, they're there to show us something. And what are they there to show us? This is important. Basically, there's two boons that come with transcending aspects of yourself, right? One is that you learn how to overcome and transcend your pain, right? That's huge because you can do it at any point in the future, no matter what it is. Two, if you accept this, you don't have to. If you remember and kind of really believe and know what you did, you can teach other people how to transcend their pain and their discomfort and their unease. That's like, those are both superpowers. Like if you can actually transcend and learn things from these things rather than being fearful and averse, then you welcome pain. It's not like you're a king of pain. Like you don't say pain, pain, pain. But when it happens, instead of resisting it and identifying with the opposite position, this goes back to the whole recognition, discernment versus identification and judgment. Rather than identifying with the opposite of your pain, and then judging it, you just recognize it. You try to get to the bottom of what it is, and you might be surprised how quickly it's alleviated when you do that. That's fucking crazy. I keep saying fucking crazy. I got to use different terms, but it's just like mind blowing, right? That something can actually work like that. Don't take my word for any of this. Don't believe it because I say it and I say it with conviction. Believe it when you prove it to yourself, right? And the imagination comes in real handy here because we can imagine what it feels like to not be in pain. If you know what it was like ever to feel no pain, wherever you have pain, psychic or physical, then imagine that state, feel that state, and guess what happens? So fear is very much related to this. And I want to bring in our friend, the devil, because in the tarot, the major arcana, the devil is represented in the sign. The Capricorn is the sign he rules, and the path is fear. So that's why I bring in our friend, the devil. A lot of people have a negative connotation. Some people are rebels and they love the devil because it's cool to do the opposite. But what is the devil? The devil is our shadow aspects. The devil is stuff that binds us from our unconscious desires that we can't figure out what's going on. And it feels like we're being ruled by some evil thing. You got demons on you. You got ghosts and duppies, and you need to be a duppy conqueror and get all these people out. But these demons off of you. But here's the thing. The demons are you too. They are you. And we don't want to just be mean. And we don't want to just say, oh, this is scary, so I don't like it, right? Wrathful deities also come with when you recognize what they are, they're you too, right? So that's really important to keep in mind, that it's not some bad thing. I'm flipping through my book here to find exactly. Yes, 15th card of the major arcana is the devil. Rules Capricorn, and the path is fear. So what is the path of fear? Whew, man. You should be happy when you're afraid of something, because you can lean into that motherfucker. You can lean into it hard and see what's going on. So let's say your desires, and this is where we're going to get into shadow stuff. Fear is going to move into the devil, is going to move into the shadow. Okay. So let's say you find something that comes up that you're afraid of. And let's say this is just a natural fear that arises, I don't know, like spiders or something. Nothing crazy psychically loaded. Nothing that's prompted by a desire, right? But let's say first you're just afraid of spiders. Why are you afraid of spiders? What are you afraid of encountering? What is it about the spider that makes you feel weird? If you can plunge into that feeling of, oh, I think it's going to do something. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like them. They freak me out. You can start doing a whole bunch of things. You can look alchemically. What does the spider represent? Webs, all of these other things. You can just go deep. I'm not going to go into the whole symbolism of spiders right now, although I was playing Charlotte's Web music earlier and it's really good and I love it. I'm not going to go into that. What I'm saying is, if you start looking at it and playing and getting curious about your fear, I bet you find something that's very powerful embedded in your fear, that once you deal with it, you're probably not even that afraid of spiders again or anymore. So anyway, let's talk about those shadow. Let's talk about how the devil relates to fear and how it relates to desires. So here's the truth about the shadow. And the shadow is just any aspect of yourself that you're not approaching. You may know it's there, you may not know it's there, but you're just not approaching it. You're not shedding light on it. So I want to talk about the reverse first of what happens if you don't focus on your shadow. And you see this with a lot of love and lighters, high vibes, love and light, high vibes, love and light, high vibes. There's nothing wrong with love and light and high vibes. I fucking love that shit. But if you're not dealing with the dark, inappropriate, not conventionally appropriate in the world, socially unacceptable, whatever it is, aspects of yourself, oh boy, you are in for a surprise. Number one, it's there. You're both. You're light and dark. There's a part of you that's past duality, and that's what we're going to be talking about here. But here, in this world, you're both. You're light and dark. Don't try to deny it. You can shed light on the dark and integrate it and make it a part of you that's awesome. But if you're not dealing with it, it's there, and it's probably there more than you realize. So if you're only focusing on the light, this is what can happen. That recognition of someone who's not focusing on the light, Donald Trump, maybe he's doing some things, really quickly turns into identifying with the opposite of that. You're light. You're not dark. You're light. You're not dark. Why would you? No, I'm light. I am not dark. Huh. What's going on there? You switch from identifying to the opposite, the polar opposite, and then you start judging the fuck out of the dark. And if you judge the dark, guess who controls you now? The dark side. So this is true. This is really what happens. When you condemn another's action, it condemns you to that. It binds you. It chains you to that action. It sounds fucking crazy. When you see someone do something wrong, you want to say, hey, that's wrong. Fuck that. The right thing to do is go, hey, that's wrong. I want to imagine a better version of that person and that not happening. And you can say, oh, it's passive, man. You got to get out there in the fucking streets and Antifa these motherfuckers. It's like, okay, do that after you have your shit together and see if you still want to do it, number one. And number two, see if you can do it a better way. But if you don't have your shit together and you start doing that, Anyway, another thing that happens when you only focus on the light is you can drift into idealistic thinking that bypasses your negative or dark aspects very quickly. So, I have this thing that pops up and that's not appropriate. That's not good. I'm just not going to deal with it. All right, push it down. Keep sweeping it under the carpet and see that big ass lump under the carpet. When you pull it up, it's going to be a fucking monster. It's not just going to be dirt. And then if you're everything, like I said, if you're really everything, if you're God, if you're source, if you're the universe, you're fucking all this stuff for real, and you experience that, that means you're both light and dark. Okay. So don't only focus on the light. I've known people who've done that. I've seen people who've done that. I've then judged those people for doing that. Don't do that either. But I've seen what it leads to in their lives. And it doesn't lead to only light and positivity, believe it or not. Weirdly, when you start integrating aspects of your shadow, it does lead to a lot more positivity and harmony, even between the light and dark. Okay. So from my own life, and I'm not going to get too much into this, but I'm going to say that whenever I've suppressed aspects of myself that seem unhealthy, that seem that I judge as unhealthy desires, it means that if I push those down, they'll come back at the worst fucking time, basically. Like, what the fuck? Why now? And this happens for everyone. It's not just me. So don't push this. Don't suppress your shadow. It's the same thing with the ego. It's the same thing with anything else that we hear: suppress, subdue, shut it up, kill it. Don't take that approach. You can kill limited versions of yourself. That's about it, because it's still you. And the parts that are limited will thank you later when you realize it, because it'll be like, thanks, I didn't want to feel like that. Fucking sucked. I'm still here with you in some way, multidimensionally, but you gave me the tools to heal that. So thanks. So here's what happens with your desires and your shadow, and how you can use desires to actually integrate and deal with aspects of yourself. So again, what's a desire? A desire is something that's served up by you, the deepest part of you, to show you who you are. So as you pursue each desire, something is revealed to you. Sometimes they're boons, sometimes they're challenges, sometimes they're mirages, but it doesn't matter. It's up to you what you decide is real, regardless. But you're doing this to yourself. It seems to be a process that really, as far as I know, everyone is undergoing at all times. But here's what's going on here. It's showing you both your light and dark aspects, right? A desire may be to help someone, right? And it's a burning desire. Your desire may be to do something that really isn't going to cause a lot of happiness around people. Like, let's say everyone in your life, because this is the story you've written for you, says, don't do this thing, don't take this job, don't move to this place. But you know in your heart that this is what you want to do. If you allow external reality, if you allow the judgmental aspects of you to say, fuck that, I'm not going to move, it's not what I'm doing, like no one wants me to, it's not the right thing, it's bad, it's going to make this person upset and that person upset and this person upset. If you listen to that, you're stuck, and you're also pushing away a real, genuine desire. Now, it doesn't mean always you need to move if you have a burning desire, but you pursue it. You imagine it first. You don't take the physical steps. You imagine it first and see what happens, right? This is really something that also transcends duality, right? This is showing you that morality, ethics is a thing, but good and bad, right and wrong, past and present and future, this isn't really as solid as we like to think it is. Now, our conscious and moral minds hate this conversation, because it's like, no, that's wrong. Like, there is good and bad. There's good and evil. There's right and wrong. Like, you want to get punched in the face? It's like, no, but that's not what I'm saying. There is a place of non-duality, right? We hear about this in Advaita Vedanta, in Buddhism, in every mystic tradition. It's just past right and wrong. It doesn't exist. Now, it's not free license to go be a piece of shit. You really, and like the beacon here, so like here's a really key point about these desires and shadow. If you feel off balance, really off balance when you're pursuing a desire, maybe reinvestigate that, because that can slip into your willpower, an idealized version of what you want to have happen. And that typically is not as stable, I will say, as something that is like, oh my God, this is something that maybe like it feels like it seems like I shouldn't be doing objectively, but it feels right. And I've gotten through some very difficult personal and intrapersonal situations by staying the course in something that felt and looked objectively wrong, but ultimately led to way more healing and understanding for relationships and myself. And this has happened many, many times for me. And I'm sure it's happened for you too. You just have to recognize that your internal sense of balance and equanimity and that you're doing the right thing has to be there. Because if you're using the desire vehicle for like awakening, This is a fine fucking line. We're talking about the left-hand path here. We're talking about going into the world, allowing your desires to be served up as a vehicle for waking you up to the true nature of reality. That's not a little thing. It can be a fun and easy thing, but it's not a little thing. So as you're approaching these aspects of your being and these desires that maybe seem incongruent with how you picture yourself or how other people picture you, it is important to recognize that balance inside. You want to thank your shadow. You want to be grateful and love the devil and your shadow because it's showing you a very quick way to burn through delusion, right? We tell ourselves a lot of stories internally and externally that are just there to make us feel more comfortable. One of those stories is that the world is this big place, stuff happens, whatever, we don't have that much control. That's like a really big narrative a lot of us tell ourselves, and that is not accurate. So when we start to move into the desire realm and look at our shadows and look at fear and look at why we're afraid of this or the fear of others or why these situations create pain and what is that pain there to do, you're going to uncover things that maybe you didn't expect to find. If you only have an idealized perfect version of yourself in your mind and you never harm anyone, you never do anything wrong, you're always perfect, and you haven't put in the work to realize the truth of that statement that you are always perfect, that means even when you do shit that doesn't feel right, that's perfect too. And that is a very tough and lofty vision to hold on to and maintain, right? The idea that the entire world is perfect and yet there is suffering, objective suffering for ourselves and people outside, that's a tough one to reconcile, but trust me, it's true. It really is true. It is perfect. It's all perfect. Now, one way we can get past some of these ideas is that the stakes aren't as high as we may think they are when we're dealing with shadow aspects and fear and pain. Now, this is where I'm forced to say again that if a desire comes up to kill someone or rape someone or do something fucked up and just bad, you're wrong. You're misapprehending what's going on. The desire to kill someone is the desire to be free from them, or it's the desire to obtain something that they have, and you think by getting rid of them that way, you'll get it. The desire is below that. It's underneath the surface of the action that you're taking. Remember, this world is just an effect. You're not, if you construe doing something in this world as attaining something or getting something, obtaining rather, that's not right. It's wrong. So don't fall into that trap that, oh, I hate this person so much. Well, you feel balanced? You feel good? Your desire coming up, even if it feels logically incongruent, that's okay. Accept that. But if it emotionally and feeling wise feels incongruent and feels like you're off balance, that ain't good. That's really not great. So we want to be careful, right? We want to be mindful when we're walking the path of the devil, when we're walking the path of fear, when we're leaning into fear, when we're leaning into our shadow, when we're leaning into pain. That's it's not for everyone. I mean, it is for everyone because we're here, right? And there's a lot of planets right now astrologically, and they will be more of them that are moving into Capricorn and are in Capricorn. And Capricorn, again, is the devil. It's the path of fear. So as Saturn, Jupiter, was it Uranus? Is Uranus now in Capricorn? I'm going to look this up while I'm talking. It's very important to recognize that fear is probably going to pop up for a lot of people. It probably continues to pop up for you, pops up for me. How we deal with it and the ability to lean into it and understand why it's there really helps. Like, it really fucking helps. Like, fear is not a thing, and pain are not there to fuck us up, and shadow aspects are not there to fuck us up. But if we approach it like that, guess what they're going to do is fuck us up. Of course, we believe they're there to fuck us up, so therefore they will. They're there as opportunities to recognize what's really going on. And that is one step beyond good and bad, one step beyond right and wrong. Just past there, it's a fun place to hang out. There is an ethical and responsibility and unconditional love that lives there, which is why, this isn't reckless telling people there's a place beyond morality and duality, because that place is unconditional love. And it is actually something that you can tap into. So it's not like a place of existential dread or fear or negativity or hell realm. We create that for ourselves internally with our consciousness, and it's reflected back to us. So don't worry that when I'm saying there's a place beyond ethics, that it means you can do whatever you want. It just means like right there, that's unconditional love. And it's fucking great. I chill there all the time. So that's it for this episode. Relatively short. Any questions people have, I'm getting in. We're going to do another Q&A real soon. They're coming in. The questions are also getting more insightful, and as people discover different aspects, we're getting into specifics, like people are leaving their bodies and feeling physical sensations, and it's pretty fucking cool. So we're going to get into a lot of that stuff. I appreciate you listening to this. If it's helped you, share it with someone. Like, this shadow stuff ain't no joke. Like, a lot of people who you see doing fucked up things in the world, just to be clear, yes, they are you, and recognize that if you're seeing it and dwelling on it, you probably have those things in quite a bit too, those energies too. However, they're usually just failing to integrate aspects of their own shadow. If you know someone who's always talking shit about other people, or, you know, just doing things that you can discern are not great, they're just having trouble integrating their shadow. So maybe help them imagine a version of them that does get this, and then they can actually get some peace there. Okay. That's it for this episode. Rate and review this podcast, tarot readings, astrology readings, Instagram, all the fun stuff. Go check it out. That's it for this week officially. It's Friday. There's nothing else that could come out. I guess I could put shit out on the weekends, but not this weekend. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. Stay tuned for music. A lot of you have been getting in touch with me about the music on the episodes. An album is coming out. You're going to hear a little something at the end here. I'm not going to make it long. If you want the full version, it's a freestyle. It is not polished, my vocals, but it's pretty fucking cool. And everyone I've been playing it to has been digging it, and I dig it too. So you can email me, noah@syncpodcast.com, or hit me up on Instagram, and I'll get you that link to a Dropbox. That's it, and I will see you next. Bye-bye.
We'll bring it back to you again. Tears falling from the sky. Little bit on my side. I know the weather. John, it rains.